Yo, what's good, my people, man? You're locked into Spill TV. Lock in and get locked out. You know what time it is. And today we're talking about none other than Ginger J. Bro, he's all over the blog pages. He's all over the net. Bro, it's going viral. Obviously, I don't know if you guys seen the rant that he had when obviously the subject about black women got brought up. That was obviously a trigger for my man. I don't know what he's been through, but brother, we all know, as mixed race people, black people, you know, we all know that that is a very, very touchy subject, bro. And you should never, ever come on the net and say things like that, bro. It's mad, you know, G. And you know the maddest thing is I was actually in Penn with Jay, you know. I was in a High Point with him. I know he don't like to talk about all of that, bro. And big up to him, bro, for the transition, my brother, because we're all making it, you know what I'm saying? So I only say it in praise of people, do you know what I mean? I'll never say it to like down a man's character or none of that. But I only say that to say this. I always seen him as a good brother. I always seen him as someone with a good heart. You know, I never seen him do anything flaky or do anything like, you know, I always seen him and looked at him as a clean-hearted brother, bro. And I was always told a person with a good heart, everything else will fall into place. If a person's got a good heart, everything else will fall into place. So with that being said, let's get into this, man, and we're going to come back to it, man. Let's go.
Here's why I don't date black women. Listen to me when I'm talking to you lot.
I'm listening.
Because you lot don't like to listen.
I'm listening.
I don't date black women because you don't like to get put in your place.
Which place?
Your place.
Which
and when you
place?
get put in your place, you think you got taught like a man.
That's why they were
Ooh, brother, I have actually seen people get cancelled for a lot less, man. Like, there's just some things you don't say, bro. You know, I know some things are traumatic and, you know, we've all been through what we've been through or whatever, but sometimes your trauma is best kept to certain circumstances and certain places. You know, there's a time and place for everything. And I say that to say this. I don't think that that was the place for that to be said. Now, I do believe that, you know, I heard in the aftermath that was clipped in a way that no one's heard what he said before that, where he actually did say that what he is saying is directed. It's him. He's not talking about them girls in particular, although that's how it looked. He was basically talking about trauma and things that he had been through with women, specific women that he had dated, named specifically black women that he had dated. I think that was lost in transit. Now, regardless of that, some things you just don't say because a trigger is a trigger no matter where it is. And that was a trigger for them women. Now, what you've got to understand is, bro, our black women have been through so much trauma over the years. And that trauma is still very much alive in them, bro. Because our black women do get a hard time, brother. And, you know, saying for just black people in general, you know, the saying goes, the black man has to try twice as hard as his white counterpart. That's very true, especially in UK. It's a very, very racially, systemically racist culture and system. And, you know, we're just in the middle of it and we're trying to fight our way through it. And then things like this end up happening, which is just mad. But like I said, guys, in the first part of my video, I don't know Ginger J personally like that, but I've been on a wing with him. And like I said, I know he don't like this being talked about, but sometimes to put substance into things, you've got to bring up certain things. And I have always seen him move as a good person, bro. And that was even behind four walls. He was still able to let me see a good side of him, bro. So, you know, I don't think he meant that in the way that it came across. And I know we've seen things with the aftermath, and I'm not going to put that in my video because I think that is just taking it too far. I think that it then goes into the realms of trying to tear someone down. But Jay, I think you need to look at what you said, man. And from what I've seen after that, you're taking accountability for it, bro. And, you know, I don't think you're taking accountability for it 100%, but you are taking some sort of accountability for it. And yes, I do think that you do need to deal with this now rather than let it sit and fester. You know, be a man. Come out. If you're in the wrong, say you're in the wrong. What you said was wrong and correct it. Do you know what I'm saying? But don't give people the opportunity to now come and break you down. But let's just keep going and get into this next part, and we'll come back.
And when you get put in your place, you think you got taught like a man.
That's why they were cheating on you then.
You're not men.
That's why they were
Watch
cheating
this.
on you.
Stay in
Yeah,
the
that's why
fucking
they
place.
cheated on you multiple times.
Yeah, I know.
Because
I
you
know.
put
And
no
that's
one
why
in
I'm
their
never
place.
going to be in your
That's
pom-pom
why you
ever
have to
again.
dip out the pool.
I'm not with
Because
black
you can
women
control
because you don't like to
nobody.
get put in your place.
Apologies,
Listen,
sir.
Bro, you know, it's just mad that like a man said, when you get put in your place, you want to react like a man. You're not a man. Like me, I just personally think that's our black woman showing the strength in her. She's not acting like a man. I think you've misconstrued that, Jay. Like I don't agree with that. I'll be honest, I don't agree with that. And I will say that here. Like, our women have to be strong like that, bro. Black women have to be strong like that because of the challenges and the things that they've had to deal with in life. Do you get me? They've had to be strong. Like, you will find that a lot of black women are like that. You know, their inner strength sometimes is more stronger than a man. And that's just a fact, bro. Like, it's a fact that black women are very, very, you know, very moralistic, very strong, you know, very independent. They don't want to have to depend on no man. Like, but that's how our black women have been taught to think, you know, like it goes a lot deeper than a woman just acting out or acting like a man, or it's a lot deeper than that. Like, if you was to ever ask that woman, why was she acting like that? She's never going to turn around and saying, well, I was acting like that because I thought I was a man. No, bro. She's going to tell you that she was in pain, or she was struggling, or, you know, she was in a situation where she had to be strong like that. It's a lack of understanding, bro, man. And I think a lack of context. It just looked bad. It just looked bad. And I feel bad for that girl that was sitting there too. You could hear her saying apology. She was instantly threatened. You could see that she felt threatened. It weren't fair on her, bro. It weren't fair on any of them, bro. And it weren't fair on any black woman to have to hear that either. Jay, if I'm going to defend you, I'm going to say what I feel too. So, you know, it just is what it is, man. Guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It don't cost you a damn thing. And be sure to leave a comment and share. Yeah, man. Spill TV, lock in and get locked out. I'm out.
Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Yeah. Take my shoes and walk a mile, something that you can't do.